all right? Is all the sound going through well? I didn't hear you. So did you say yes? Please say
Yes, yes,
yes.
yes, yes. I thought that you were referring to the people joining the
No,
room.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
Okay, we have another person on Teams. On no, this is Google Meet. This one here.
Yeah.
Hi, Gareth.
If you like, I can. Now that we are not a lot of people on this call, if you like, I can give them access to their microphones. Anyways,
Oh, so are you saying that they cannot unmute themselves right now?
no.
Oh, yes, please give them access to unmute.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. So,
Guys,
guys,
apologies as always with technical things. We do have few things that we have to sort of iron out first. But yeah, we'll make it happen. So hello again. If anyone wants to speak up, be my guest, be our guest. The floor is yours. We have still 3 minutes. We are waiting for other people to join. As I said earlier, we are streaming this webinar today on 3 different platforms. We have people joining on Google Meet. We have people joining on Zoom, and we also have people joining on WebEx. So it's quite a big setup for us. Usually we use just one streaming device, but this is quite a big event today, so we can expect quite a lot of traffic. And instead of pushing everyone through the same funnel, we thought, okay, let's use 3 different ones just to ease the traffic a little bit our end. So when the recording will go out, by the way, you will see recording from the screen that is representative of your chosen streaming channel. So if you are joining us on Google Meet, then your webinar will be delivered to you with the Google Meet background, if you like. If you are joining through Teams or WebEx, then you will have different background, but you have the same picture of us, the same content, the same video, just a little bit a different frame, but everything else is going to be exactly the same. Okay. We still have 2 minutes. It's 2 to 7.
yeah, we
Cool.
have 2 minutes. Yeah, I am just accepting people from all different channels.
Okay. I can see that Zoom is getting quite heavy now. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the biggest fan of Zoom, guys. We do use it as everyone else. We have a message from Gareth. Okay.
Okay, so more people are joining up from Meet.
Okay, guys. Can the rest of you also confirm if the audio is breaking? If the audio is breaking when we talk? Anyone else? Do you have any issues with connection with the sound? Just drop us a line on chat, or if you want to unmute and speak out, just
At the moment, only Gareth seems to be having issues with the audio.
Okay. Gareth, we do have. Oh, hey, perfect, Anka. Excellent, thank you. So, Gareth, I mean, from our experience, there are a few options for you. You don't have your camera on, which is a good thing when it comes to broadband speed and everything else. But I don't know, one of the things that you can possibly do, and that was good for others in the past, you may want to join from your phone if you are not joining from your phone already. Sometimes people don't have, the best connection at home when they have, or in the office when they have broadband. So maybe just using, 4 or 5G will help out. I don't know, but anyway, hopefully when we send out the recording, it should be clear, and you wouldn't have the issue you're having right now. So yeah, perfect. Yeah, log out and try again. Makes sense. Okay. So guys, it's 7, but like I said, it's the early stage. Let's say 2-3 minutes, and then we'll kick off the webinar. Okay, I can see Gareth is joining. Gareth, just drop us a line or let us know if the audio has improved for you. Is it any better? The sound volume is too low. Well, I can scream, but but if I do, I think that other people can start to complain. So yeah, I can see some few smiley faces on Zoom on chat. No, I'm not gonna scream. I'm gonna keep my voice down so you can all survive the rest of the webinar. So
Right, excellent. So as we're going to start the webinar, I'm going to proceed to turn off all the microphones for everybody. So we can start, unless you would rather have it differently, on a more one-to-one basis.
I think we are ready to go. It's
Okay.
7:02, and I think if I count right, we have what we have 6 people on Google Meet, but we do have 23 on Zoom. We have
We are ready
44 on WebEx. Okay, that's quite a crowd. Okay, well, hello everybody. It's happening, right? Our live webinar is here. We are streaming live, like I said, through different platforms today. We are trying to split the traffic so we don't have everything going heavy through the main channel. So you should not experience any technical difficulties, and also the quality of playback, should we send the recording to you later, should be of good quality. So that's our plan for today. I cannot express how grateful I am for all of you being here today with us. How does it get any better than this? Now, some of you may have heard my conversation with Alberto earlier. None of this would be possible if Alberto did not take the lead on the technical and marketing side of this event. I mean, technical and marketing, this is not my forte, believe me or not. So thank you, sir. Thank you for making this all happen, and thank you for co-hosting this event today as well. Alberto is gonna co-host this with me. So during the webinar, if you have any questions regarding the content, should you have any comments, or should you experience any technical issues, feel free to drop a line to Alberto or just drop a message on the main chat. And that, guys, applies to all of you on the rest of the channels as well. And yeah, Alberto is gonna work his magic to make it all happen. So hello, my name is Marcin Bartoszewicz. I am the founder of Quality Today. Over the last 20 years or so, I have been running operations for several medium and large scale companies across multiple industries. I started with maritime when I finished my uni. I went through manufacturing, I went through construction, electronics, and lately I've been running operations for the oil and gas business, believe me or not. I help people like you become experts in business operations and show you how you can avoid really costly mistakes that could slow down your progression. And today, I'm going to share with you a few secrets that are going to make a real difference in your approach to professional development and your definition of success. So stay with us until the end, because fun enough, we have prepared a little gift for you. So we will be more than happy to share this with you should you decide to stay with us until the end. So once again, thank you very much for joining us today. Should you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to drop us a line. If you don't want to do it on the main group, reach out to us directly, or should you wish to reach out to us after the webinar, just reply to the emails that we were sending to you as part of the webinar marketing. You will find an email address over there, so just drop us a line and we should respond to you relatively quickly. So that's the plan. So let's talk about your career development expectations and the real life business needs. Now, in the ideal situation, there is a complete alignment between the two, understanding who does what and how both parties require to achieve successful cooperation. Now, your work benefit the organization, and at the same time, you make the most of your career progression. So technically, all of us should aim to be in this state. Well, often this is not the case though. Your expectations can include a clear career path. You may be thinking about a defined scope of work, attractive salary, maybe comfortable work environment. Some of you may be willing to have some degree of challenge at your work. Now, the company, from the other hand, is focusing on growth, profitability, delivery of specific tasks or projects, well, sales, obviously, of products or services, people management, etc. Very often people make very simple mistake expecting that the business will recognize their expectations and align to prioritize these over anything else. Now, do you really think this is a realistic approach? What chances would you have should you decide to shift responsibility for your well-being, in a broad sense, to your boss? Now, some people do that, but believe me, from my experience, this is not the best approach to achieve a success in business. The bottom line is this: The alignment must come from you. The proposal must come from you. When was the last time you initiated change by asking questions, hey? When was the last time, ask yourself this, that you initiated change in your organization by asking a question? What can I do that if I am successful, I can get my salary increased? What can I do that if I am successful, I can get my salary increased? What challenge can I take upon myself so that if I win, I can be promoted? See, people tend to issue demands and requests, right? How successful are they? By asking questions, on the other hand, you open up new possibilities and make space for the business to respond. What you create for yourself is you start asking questions today. How can you create more in the business if you start asking questions today? How many of you have ever tried that? How many of you resolve to asking questions rather than going out there and making requests and demands? If you think about the situation around the world these days, everything is changing constantly. And the speed, comparing to what used to be 10, 20 years ago, is just unimaginable. And businesses and people must keep up to stay on the top of the game. Or better, you want to leap forward, to be ahead of the game. The change is constant. Now, everyone has two ways to respond. One, you can embrace the change and yield benefits, or do little or nothing and hope for the best. Now, all of you have already made a decision because you have joined this webinar. You have entered the top percentage of people who are genuinely desire to be successful in life. That's well done. Well done. Here is an interesting fact. Regardless of the scale of the change, it always starts with just a single person. It always starts with a single person. Someone somewhere has decided to do something. And as soon as you start learning, as soon as you start improving your skills, your knowledge, your awareness, your value as a person and employee, for a fact, begins to grow. Now, your contribution to the team and the company has become significant. And let's be honest, there will be always this one person who does not appreciate our development, our success. It doesn't matter, especially long term. Do you remember when you used to play sports as a youngster in school? When teams were picked, everyone wanted to join the best ones, right? Well, tell me I'm wrong. It's the same in business. Your growth will attract new opportunities. And when that happens, you can now start negotiations. If you think about different ways to get more exposure, more visibility in business, you have effectively have two choices to follow. You can either solve a problem, that's one option you can go with, or second option, you can improve existing process, you can look at existing product or service from the improvement point of view. The only thing to remember is that you have to pick the one that is significant to the company. So if it's successful, it makes a real difference. Anything else, anything below that line, it's not going to make any change at all. It will be dismissed, and probably few people around you have done this already in the past and they have not really achieved much. So you have to think out of the box in this case. Everything can be measured, and I'm sure you've heard this phrase before, and that includes success. Truth be told, problem solving and improvements can be easily measured. What's interesting is that every benefit can be measured and presented in monetary value. How many of you have ever faced a situation when someone asks you, how did you solve this problem? Or how much of an improvement have you made in this area over there? And you say, we have cut the time by 50%, or we reduced number of complaints by 10 per month or something like that. And then someone asks you, okay, right, and how much money has business made out of this? And this person will look at you just thinking, I don't know. It never occurred to me that I should measure this. Well, the true fact is that whatever you change in business, whatever change you implement, whatever you improve, regardless of the nature or the basic metric, it can always be presented in monetary value. And that's exactly what business shareholders wants to see, the financial benefit. Do you know how many people struggle to make the most of their professional careers? They don't know how to look at the results of their fantastic work from a financial standpoint. They do a lot of great things in business, but they don't know how to look at them from the financial benefit to the business itself. Let's look at some questions, right? For example, if I do this, our company will save this much. If I do this, our sales will increase by this much. If I solve this problem, the cost of quality will decrease by this much. Do you see where I'm going with this? Now, why Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, should you ask? Well, being good at just one thing is not enough these days. There are exceptions, given. Some individuals excel in sports, some in arts, in science, but most successful people, they multitask and get involved in multiple complex projects and ventures. I know that you've heard multitasking many times before in your life, but this is not what I'm on about at the moment. This is not just about multitasking tasks in the office at work. People allocate significant proportion of their time to reading, networking, attending courses, webinars, seminars, and so on. And you are proving this to be right today. Now, to help you improve your professional career and consequently support business growth, 3 years ago, we have launched our Lean Six Sigma Green Belt course. Now, it's a complete package of quite powerful tools and techniques that anyone can use to drive the business change. What makes this course successful is the practical approach in everything we teach. Now, you have very few theories or historical references in the content. Instead, we provide work frameworks, examples of documents and tools that you can effectively download and use immediately within your business. Now, until now, we have been delivering this course exclusively to the largest companies in the UK, and today this is all about to change. Today, in fact, we are going live with our first ever online Lean Six Sigma Green Belt course. We have never done this before. Everything was class-based so far, but now we are going online. I know that in the 21st century, this statement is rather, well, out-timed, shall I say, but here we go. The last 3 years has taught us a lot. We have looked at different means of delivering the content and different ways of working with people, and we have realized that actually we can bring much more benefit to organizations and individuals if we reach out through not just classroom-based training, but also through different remote media. Now, students who attended our classes so far, we're talking about the last 3 years, they've made over £3 million in cost-saving projects alone. Let it sink in. £3 million in cost-saving projects alone. Many of them, they got promoted, they got their salaries increased, or they joined new organizations to expand their careers further. Now, it was quite simple, and it is still today. They accepted our invitation to the course. We used Lean Six Sigma to share the best tools and techniques required to make a difference in business. And they trusted us to follow the prescribed format to problem solve and continuously improve processes, products, and services within their business. Well, the rest is history. And today we invite you to join us on the same journey to achieving something extraordinary in your professional career. So what are we proposing here? What is the quick course overview for you? We are talking about 13 different modules packed all together that you can go through at your own pace. We include exercises and workshops. You can download a whole package of document templates. They come to you as PDFs, Excel, and Word format. You can edit them as you wish and use for your own business. All of that is covered by the guided audio. There is no time limit for you to go through the training and complete all the modules. But you know what? If that wasn't enough, what we do is we give you also a chance to work with a personal coach. So it's not only the online content that you go through on yourself. You also have access to a tutor, an individual who work with you through 4 individual coaching sessions. So should you join this training, you have a chance to work during your training completion, or should you wish to run an improvement project, you have access to this individual person to work with you and support you through the journey of the project itself. So it's a physically dedicated coach that will work with you during the training and after the training to look after your project until the completion. Now, needless to say, and I think that comes as an obvious fact, we are a registered UK business and we do issue a formal Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certificate. So should you wish to join us, you will be rewarded with a formal Lean Six Sigma job qualification that you can use within your own business, or should you wish to change your employer, you can put it on a CV and look for interest somewhere else. Now, the interesting question is this: how do you convince your employer, your business, to cover the cost of this training? Some of you will probably decide to pay yourself should you wish to join. But in many cases, people will be wondering, well, how do I make my employer, my business, to cover the cost? Truth be told, getting the company to finance the course, and not just this course, but any course, is simpler than you may think. All you have to do is have to ask for it. Many people miss out on the great courses because they assume they must cover the cost themselves. Have you ever asked your employer to cover the cost of training or subscription? Many of you probably haven't. I mean, it's crazy to think how many people are missing out on professional development only because they assume that the employer will not cover the training. From my own experience, most of the companies will make a lot of effort to upskill their staff. So all it takes is to be proactive. Now, rather than waiting for the employer to send you on a course, which may, by the way, differ from your expectations, you may end up doing something that you don't really want to do, come up with your own proposal. There is only one thing to focus on to secure the funding, really, and that is a solid justification. So should you decide to attend any training out there, first of all, you need to provide justification around the purpose of the training. You need to explain to the business how exactly the business is going to benefit from you becoming a professional with certain qualification. What problem are you going to solve using this particular framework? In our case, Lean Six Sigma. What are you going to improve using Lean Six Sigma framework? Well, last but not least, you should include a link to the training agenda, to the training content, so your manager or your employer can familiarize him or herself with the content, the provider, and feedback from other students. If you have never done this before, and I'm sure that there are people on this call who are new to the concept of reaching out to employers and securing funding, you don't have to worry too much. Just reach out to us, drop us a line, drop us an email, and we'll send you a complete template that you can use by populating certain fields to send it to your employer and ask for funding. It's really straightforward. It's not a rocket science. All you have to do is to put your name, the name of the training that you want to attend, and a few things around the justification that in your mind will actually benefit your employer. And with that said, let's talk about the gift, right? I can see that most of you, looking at the numbers here, are still with us. So that's great. So for those of you who are still with us, here is the bonus. Here is the bonus. I hope that you're all sitting right now. It's going to be a big one. So, as I said earlier, this is the first time in the history of our organization when we are launching an online offering of our training. So to celebrate and to say thank you to all of you who are joining us today on this webinar, we have decided to give all of you a chance to get 50% discount on the full price of this Lean Six Sigma Green Belt course. So effectively, you're going to get the entire course that include one-to-one individual coaching, half price. I mean, I don't know how this gets any better, right? Half price for the full training course and access to your individual tutor who will work with you for the duration of the training and longer should you decide to run an improvement project afterwards. How do you get that? Well, it's pretty simple, to be honest. When we finish this webinar today, and I'm sure we'll have some questions to answer, we'll send you all an email where we will explain how to get to the training website. We'll also include the training voucher that you may want to use on during the checkout to get the 50% discount. What is important is the time scale. We have decided to make this voucher, this discount, valid until the 12th of May. It's 3 weeks more or less from now, and there's a valid reason for that. I've mentioned earlier that not everyone is familiar with the concept of securing resource from funding from the employer. Many people will just pay for themselves. But should you wish, ask your employer to cover the cost. We give you extra time to reach out to your manager, to your boss, with the request template or request letter or email or just having a meeting to explain why you should decide to join Lean Six Sigma Green Belt training. So that will give you enough time to go through the process and secure your place on the training. Some of you may ask, okay, what if I don't manage? What if I don't manage to get this on time? Well, again, the discount code will become invalid on the 12th of May, but what you can do, should you miss the deadline, you are more than welcome to drop us a line, just drop us an email, and we will work with you figuring out what's the best way for you to join this training at the discount, even though you have missed the deadline. Why this offer is so exciting? Because this is not a public offering. So effectively no one else except from people who registered for this webinar today is going to get this discount. This is a one-off chance for anyone joining us today or registering for this webinar to get this training and such a significant discount. I promise you today, this is one-off and it will not happen again. And like I said, this is really a thank you to you for joining us today, but also for us to celebrate this grand event when we have decided to do something completely different to what we used to do in the past. So, well, the future will show, the time will show how this is going to work out. We are hoping to see all of you, plus more, if you refer us to your friends, on the course, and we'll go from there. So I guess that would be a good time to look at some questions that some of you may send us during the time. Alberto, I cannot see those questions at my end. I can see the number of people, but not the chat. If you can help me out with this one, that would be cool.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Mm-hmm.
So there have been some questions coming from the different channels. Not so many from Google Meet, but I've got one from Zoom here that says, so what if I make my employer £1 million in cost savings? How do I benefit? So that is one question.
Okay, so we are starting the big one, right? So you have someone who is worried about earning 1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. So I think that wouldn't be a problem in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Just imagine that you have one employee that just makes you £1 million in cost savings. How would you reward that employee? I guess that's where that person is coming from.
Alberto, I do apologize because I was just looking at questions from Gareth on Google Meet. So before I answer Gareth's question, can you repeat the question, please? Because I got a little bit distracted. Apologies.
Yeah, that is all right. So this question says, so what if I make my employer £1 million in cost savings?
Yeah.
How do I benefit personally?
Right. Okay. So this is very simple. This is what people don't realize when it comes to professional development and potential career prospects. The fact that the employer or the business is getting financial benefit from the improvement, there are two advantages to you as someone who is driving the change. One, you can possibly expect a promotion within your current business because you have a good justification to prove your value to the employer. However, should your business decline your proposition, it do happen, trust me, what you can do is to put it on your CV or reach out to other people who would appreciate your proficiency in this particular matter and will give you possibly a better chance to utilize your skills. Remember, you are never tied for life with your current organization. I don't tell you right now to leave your organization to look for different business. But should you run improvement projects which are successful and you don't get reward from the employer, I mean, truth be told, it doesn't make much sense to stick around for longer because you are clearly not appreciated. So my advice to you would be advertise yourself. Make the name for yourself somewhere else using what you have done so far. Shall we look at Gareth's question? Because I can actually see this one here. Yeah. Gareth is asking if my employer agrees to pay for the course, what is a reasonable time frame for a retention clause? I went through this many times in the past. So Gareth, I don't know where are you based country-wise, but we are sitting in the UK right now. And I can tell you the retention clause, well, it's a gray area, to be honest with you, because a lot of companies are trying to make their employees to stay for at least 6 months once they pay for certain types of training. And we do have those situations with people who are attending our live trainings, our classroom trainings. Okay? I can hear from them. And that's especially relevant to people who are graduates, people who are junior engineers, and people who are quite fresh to the business in general. They are asked to stay at least 6 months before they can leave should the company pay for the training. However, and this is probably more for people who are more advanced in business, it's very hard to execute this clause, right? It's very hard for the employer to execute this clause. how would the employer secure your salary and your funding should you wish to leave the business? There is technically nothing stopping the business from nothing stopping you from leaving the business without any penalties. There are certain exceptions, but we are talking about people who are earning six-figure salaries plus, working for banks or organizations of that scale. But typically, the retention clause is not necessarily easy to execute. But to answer your question, typically 6 months is the time that we hear people are being asked to stay with organization once they complete this particular training. Okay, cool. Thanks, Gareth. What else on the list, Alberto?
So we've got another one here, just going in order from what they have from when people have been sending them. We've got one here at from Zoom, another one from Zoom. Which salary ranges can we reach with these skills?
Okay, interesting. Now, so this question is very relevant today because if you asked me this question, say 3-4 years ago, I would tell you that for a green belt practitioner, you'll be, and I'm talking about UK at the moment, so you can possibly make relevant assessment where you are right now according to your job market. But within the UK, if you are a certified green belt, you are looking the salary level between 40,000 to 55,000 pounds per year. That's effectively what you can request once you have this qualification, and should you have at least one green belt project delivered to the business, right? So between 40 to 55, because that also comes with your additional educational background and experience at work in general. But between 40,000 pounds, I would say, is the bottom line should you have green belt qualification.
Yeah. I got another question here, but I think that they tie up well together with the one that we have recently received from Matthew, so which says typically Lean and Six Sigma are linked heavily to operation and manufacturing. Can these skills be transferred into other areas of business?
Okay. Matt, tell me that you are the mother I know. Because judging by the question, I'm just looking at the chat now, seeing the names. If we know each other, if I know that that's you, that's really cool to have you on the webinar today. So you would be right. Okay, excellent, super cool. Okay, so here's an interesting fact. When we were delivering our training in the past 3 years to different organizations, we have delivered this training to quite a lot of local councils, and these guys, they don't do a lot when it comes to manufacturing, right? Local councils, they usually manage well, roads and utilities and public realm, those things, right? So these guys are focusing heavily on processes. They have nothing to do with manufacturing, so obviously they wouldn't be looking at the typical things that you would see within the manufacturing and engineering realm. But what they've done, they have utilized the same methodologies and the same frameworks to look into processes that they run on daily basis within their scope of responsibilities. So say, an example comes to my head. When we ran last training, we had a group of people working on reducing response time for crews responding to emergency roadworks. So council is looking after this. So when you have, say, holes in the road or pipes are bursting somewhere on the road, the water is flooding the road, things of that nature, they would need to send emergency crews to repair those things immediately, and they had quite a big backlog on those repairs, and also the public opinion was not speaking very highly of them. So few people who were working on this project recently, they were working towards reduction of the response time, the average response time to those emergency repairs. So that's one of the service situations, service type of utilization when you can look into this and make the most of the tools that you learn during the training. What else do we have? Do we have any other questions, Alberto? I can see people on Zoom waving hands. I don't know what that means, to be honest, but I can see a few pictures there with hands stick to their picture. Can you see if we have any questions from these guys?
Yeah, let me have a look. I've got one here in there, that says, what will my employer expect of me if I attend one of these training courses? Will this increase my workload? I'm already stretched up.
That's a very good question. I would lie to you guys if I said, oh, go on Lean Six Sigma Green Belt training or any other training, and once you complete it, automatically you start yielding benefits. That's not true. I mean, this is where your journey starts effectively. You're encouraged to utilize your knowledge in business and then prove your worth, your value by utilizing the new skills. And I'm sorry to say, in probably 90% situations, if not more, you will be not given any more time or extra resources to do it. This is where your initiative and your proactivity comes into play. The difference now is that you have a framework that has been proven successful through, well, many, many, many years of utilization. So there's no guessing game. Should you decide to do it, you just take the framework, you look for an opportunity for improvement or a problem to solve, and you just follow it through. It will take quite a lot of effort at the beginning, since this may be new to you, but that's how you're going to start build up your proficiency, and that's how you're going to build up your value to your existing and potentially the future employer. So I'm sorry to say, but not really. No extra time, no extra resource, unless you're extremely lucky, but that would be new to me. Any other situation, I'm afraid to say you need to look after this from the increased workload point of view, if you like. What else do we have? Okay. These Lean Six Sigma tools seem a bit over the top to solve issues. What types of issues should these tools focus on? Right. Okay, that's a very good question. You don't necessarily want to use Lean Six Sigma tools if the project that you are willing to work on is of significant value to the business. One of the first things within the Lean Six Sigma realm is the assessment of the benefit of potential project that you are willing to run. And if this significance, this potential benefit is of low value, then from the business point of view, I would say this is not the best tool to use. There are simpler methods that you can employ, and that would probably be enough. However, what doesn't come with it is the progression within the business, the exposure within the business. So should you wish to use Lean Six Sigma tools, you are looking for a problem to solve or a process to improve where the business benefit is significant. And remember, when I say significant, we are talking about the financial value of what you're going to do. So whatever you decide to measure it first. And if this is not the financial value yet, translate it into financial value. And one word of advice here, a lot of people who are working within the continuous improvement realm or problem solving realm complain about the fact that improvement can be measured as time saving, and how are they supposed to present this in a monetary value? It's extremely simple. It's extremely simple because every business will have a standard hour value. All you have to do is to ask, how do we measure the standard hour value within our business? This is always available, and if you don't know who to ask, the easiest way to do it is to go out to your finance people. They will tell you what is the standard hour time used within the business that you can use to justify your improvement. And all you have to do is to take the time that you have saved, multiply by the hourly rate within your business, and that will give you the financial benefit straight away. So I encourage you to do it, even if you have some past improvements that you have already delivered, but you have never presented those things in the financial, in the financial value. Then just try to do it now. Just take the number from out there and see if you can actually present the same improvement, but this time in dollar value or pounds value, and see how that works for you. Maybe it's not too late to go out there and just remind your team and say, good guys, remember this project I've done? We save 50% time on, booking in orders. And you know what? We have just calculated this is actually saving us £5,000 per month on the labor cost. I mean, how would that sound? So I encourage you to look into your past projects, but not too far, obviously, something relevant, and try to see if this can be actually utilized right now before it's too late, before you won't be able to make anything out of it. What else do we have, Alberto?
Okay, we've got a few more questions. We've got one more here. It says, I hate learning on my own. What are my options?
Right, okay. That's a bold question. But we are prepared. We are prepared for questions like that. Cool.
It's a bit challenging, isn't it?
It is indeed. So, if you hate learning on your own, you can work with the tutor in this case. I said it earlier, as part of the package that we are offering here, you do not only have the access to our online platform that you can access at your own leisure and go through the modules, but at any point in time, you can schedule live one-to-one consultations / coaching events with our tutors, and you're allowed to have 4 of them as part of this entire package. So if you need someone to talk to, you have someone here waiting for you. All you have to do is to reach out.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit mindful of the time, Marcin. I don't know how much time do we have left for.
Well, we scheduled this for 45 minutes. We still have a few minutes left, so if we have any more questions, let's answer them. Let's make sure that everyone got the answer before we conclude the call.
Let's go for it. So this looks like a bit personal. It looks like something that I could do, but I don't want to change my role to a continuous improvement guy. How can this benefit me? I work as a logistics manager.
Okay. So this is a myth that is good to bust right now. People tend to think about Lean Six Sigma, that was years ago, as a typical statistical tool that people employ to run numbers and to become continuous improvement experts. But this is not the case these days. The way we teach Lean Six Sigma is by showing you how you can look into different processes and understand what part of what you're looking at is of value to the business and what is considered to be complete waste. So you don't need to become a continuous improvement expert. What you can do, you can improve the processes or the area of your own expertise, of your own responsibilities. So effectively, if you're working as a logistics manager, you may want to look into number of goods in bookings on a daily basis. The time spent by your engineers or your dispatch engineers who are spending, say hours a day processing invoices, delivery notes, allocating boxes or parts to shelves. You may want to see how effective this process is. And this will not mean that you're going to become a continuous improvement expert in the role, but you will become a better logistics manager. You will you look after your own process, your own team, and you can actually yield more benefit out of it by providing improvement on your KPIs. So the next time you go out there to present the performance of your team, performance of your department, who knows, you may be actually showing much better numbers than you used to. And believe me, you don't need to change your role. If anything, you can expect maybe a small bonus. Your numbers will go high enough. Maybe one day you will be managing a larger warehouse. Who knows? But that has nothing to do with changing the role to the continuous improvement guy. What else do we have? Oh, I have Matt here. From previous experience, one of the biggest issues which I have faced is getting people to join the journey of continuous improvement. This can include senior management. Will the course cover aspects of change management with a focus on team engagement? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. This is what makes this training different to all the other offerings out there. What we do, we put a lot of emphasis on utilizing different communication channels as people go through the journey of continuous improvement or whatever they choose to do. We spend time explaining different communication styles. We also teach people how to engage others in their projects, so to speak. Now, there's one thing that we have to make very clear here. If the employer is sending anyone on the training and spending the money on the training and then doesn't really support the individual in the continuous improvement work, then I guess there's not much you can do about it. All you can do is to focus on your own work, complete what is within your control, and if you don't see any reward, any support coming your way, well, maybe you should work somewhere else. It's a hard truth, but there is nothing you can do if things outside your control are standing in the way. So that's really where we are. We are trying to give as much information as possible with live examples when we show how people approach the management team, senior leadership, to get their support in the continuous improvement on Lean Six Sigma projects. And you will see, should you join us, that one of the main documents or the main framework, shall I say, that we teach is the framework around the project charter. It's a very clever document where you present the overview of your concept of improvement. And one of the key elements of this project charter is a sponsorship table. This is where you put a name of the person who agreed to become your sponsor for this project. And the role of the sponsor is vast. The true sponsor is not just a person who signs off the project charter. This person is supposed to support you and step in should you have any proper roadblocks that you cannot overcome yourself because of the low level of authority or anything else. So if that's the case at the beginning, then you should not be worried about getting engagement from others. However, should this become an issue at the very beginning, then I think you should worry. I think you should worry. So, yeah, that's all I can say at this stage.
Yeah. And one more in here. Someone is interested to know which industries, sectors, or employers will normally need people with Lean Six Sigma skills.
Okay, so guys, I told you earlier that my professional career spans across multiple industries. I started with maritime, I went through manufacturing, I went through electronics, lighting industry. I work with oil and gas business right now, and I can tell you that Lean Six Sigma goes across the board. It's not a sector specific set of skills. It's not sector specific toolbox or set of methods. It's about the principle of engaging the team and understanding how process can be changed to improve the output. So the sector is completely relevant. Should you explore the content of this training, which you can online. Everything is described there, so you can look at it at your leisure. We'll send you a link to the training course website, so you can go through the agenda yourself. You will see what aspects of this is covered within the content, and that will make it very clear to you, hopefully, that the sector is absolutely relevant here. It goes for everything across the board. Do we have anything else on our list? I cannot see any more questions here, Alberto. Anything at your end?
No, nothing else on my end.
Nothing. Okay, cool, guys. So I guess we run out of questions right now. I hope that those answers will be of benefit to all of you on this call. Thank you very much for staying on the call so long. It's almost 45 minutes, and I can see that only a few people drop off this call. We still have quite big group of people still with us. So just to reiterate, when we finish this call today, we'll send you an email where you will see the webinar recording. You will get the link to the training website, and you will also get the discount code, shall we call it, or a voucher code that you can use should you decide to join us, so to speak. And remember that if you struggle to get your employer to cover the cost of the training, and you don't necessarily have experience, in reaching out and finding, the best way to secure the funding, reach out to us, drop us a line, drop us an email, and we'll help you out with a template that you can possibly use to request the funding. Remember, we are a UK-based business. You will get it should you register for our training. You will get a proper, VAT invoice, and yeah, that's the easiest thing you can do. So that's really where we are right now. So once again, guys, thank you very much for you being here today, Alberto. Thank you for making this all happen from the technical and marketing standpoint, because without that would be, a no-go. And, on a personal note, having so many people joining us today, for me, I mean, I was hoping for people to join. I wasn't quite sure how big the attendance is going to be, but seeing if I get the numbers right, with over 50 people here, I can see. Alberto knows better because I can only see part of the dashboard, right? I can see that over 50 people, I think, but I don't know the rest of the numbers. This is astonishing, right? Astonishing. And funny enough, most of the people who have joined, and I know this from Alberto, they joined us from the marketing campaign we launched online on the LinkedIn. So that means people who are actually actively working within businesses. So, for us, perfect. For you guys, even better. You have a great chance, get engaged in proper networking event, know each other, join people who are already experts, or maybe just starting with this Lean Six Sigma venture. So well done to all of you. Once again, thank you for being here today. And should you have any questions, you know where we are. Feel free to reach out to us. Have a great afternoon or good morning. I don't know from where you are joining right now, because for some of you it may be early morning. For some of you maybe just going to bed very soon. So again, thank you very much. Let's keep in touch, guys. Alberto, I think that the floor is yours. Let's just wrap up the meeting and close it all off, shall we?
Yeah, I'm going to start closing off the meetings. Thank you, Marcin, for leading all of these conversations. all of you. I can see people saying thank you for the webinar. So really great feedback, really great questions we have received today. And yeah, as always, Marcin, thank you very much for
Super
answering those
cool.
questions with your personal experience and with your know-how. So yeah, so let's wrap up. And thank you all. Thank you very much, and hopefully see you in future events.
Exactly. Thank you guys again. Thank you. Let's keep in touch.
Bye
And
bye.
let's wrap this up. I don't want to press the wrong button.
No,
Should you
I will.
press it?
I'll do it. Okay. See you, everyone. Bye bye.
Cool. Thank you guys.